This is KGW News at noon.
Tests after the operation found cancer had been present. My medical team therefore advised that I should undergo a course of preventative chemotherapy, and I'm now in the early stages of that treatment.
Thank you for joining us here at noon. I'm Christine Pitawanich. We begin with breaking news involving the British royal family. Just about an hour ago, Princess Kate officially announced she's been diagnosed with cancer. The palace released this video where Kate confirmed she's getting chemotherapy. This breaks her weeks of silence after widespread speculation over her health. She was hospitalized for almost 2 weeks after she had major abdominal surgery back in January. Initially, she says doctors didn't think she had cancer, but tests have confirmed she does. In her announcement, Kate did not specify the type of cancer that she's fighting. Back in our area now, here are some of the other local headlines we're following. Police say one person is dead after an assault in southeast Portland. It happened around 4:30 this morning on the East Bank Esplanade under the Hawthorne Bridge. Officers say when they arrived, Portland Fire and Rescue were already on scene, as well as other people who had tried to intervene in the assault. Police say the suspect is in custody and an investigation is ongoing. And in just about 2 hours, a mother is scheduled to appear in court on manslaughter and DUI charges. She's accused of causing a crash that killed her 4-year-old son. Portland police say 27-year-old Angelina Minor was driving in North Portland Wednesday night and hit a car, causing minimal damage, but didn't stop. Then, minutes later, police say she drove over a center divider and crashed head-on into another vehicle. Minor's 4-year-old son was hurt and died at the hospital. The Department of Justice has filed an antitrust lawsuit against tech giant Apple. The DOJ is accusing the company of using an illegal business model that cuts its competitors out of the market, maximizing its profits. Oregon is one of 15 states that have joined the lawsuit. Catherine Cook has a look at what this could mean for consumers.
The Department of Justice is suing Apple. The U.S. filed an antitrust lawsuit Thursday, claiming the tech giant has been monopolizing the smartphone industry. U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland says the result has been higher prices for consumers and less innovation from Apple and its competitors.
For developers, that has meant being forced to play by rules that insulate Apple from competition. And as outlined in our complaint, we allege that Apple has consolidated its monopoly power not by making its own products better, but by making other products worse.
You'll see one example when you text from an iPhone to an Android.
This is the green bubble, blue bubble issue.
Tim Smith is a senior assistant AG with the Oregon DOJ. Oregon is one of 15 states and the District of Columbia that have joined the lawsuit. Smith says texting between iPhones and non-Apple products is one way Apple makes it harder to live without them by lowering security.
What that means is that Apple has degraded the encryption so that that chat is no longer encrypted. We allege that the technology could support encryption for iMessaging with Android users, but that Apple prevents that.
There's another perspective, one that argues Apple's own security might be jeopardized if they commingle with tech outside Apple's ecosystem.
To make it work with other devices means they have to change a lot of the way they do those things, which lowers the quality of their own connections to their own things.
Patrick Miller is CEO of Ampere Industrial Security, an industrial security consulting firm. He isn't taking sides, but will be watching how the lawsuit plays out.
So I think if it really gets to technical discussion, the DOJ is going to have a hard time moving them from that position because it's technically sound.
But the DOJ has other complaints, painting Apple as anti-competitive. Whether it's trying to force customers to only use Apple products with an iPhone or control how they purchase apps.
Because Apple controls that app store, it has been able to throttle the growth of apps that might compete against Apple itself and also charge higher prices.
For its part, Apple says the company innovates every day to make technology people love, and that this lawsuit threatens its ability to do that, while setting a dangerous precedent empowering government to take a heavy hand in designing people's technology.
That was Catherine Cook reporting. This is the latest effort by the Biden administration to rein in big tech. The Justice Department is already suing Google for monopolizing its search and online ad business. And the FTC is pursuing antitrust cases against Amazon and Meta. Okay, 12:05 now. Let's take a step outside to get a look from our Rose City Skycam. Looking at downtown Portland, kind of gray out there on this Friday. Rod, definitely going to be a bit of a wet one, right, this weekend?
Yeah, it's been raining more than not this morning. Most of the rain rates have been light. We do have an upper level low and a surface low offshore. We have a front that hasn't pushed inland yet, but when that front comes in later this afternoon and then into early evening, we'll see the rain rates pick up and get heavier. So I still think it's likely that we will see some of you get caught in some downpours later today and this evening. And that really gets going, as I mentioned, about the time we get into the PM rush hour. The movement of everything is still south to north. We've had very limited rain amounts to jump east of the Cascades, where it's been mainly dry. You can see, there's not a lot of prolonged dry time on the radar right now. Clouds are dark from Lincoln City, looking out over the ocean from Chinook Winds Casino Resort Camp. About the same temperatures as we have here in Portland. They're at 54. It's been mainly dry up on Mount Hood and above freezing, 36 degrees. Forecast for snow for the weekend is looking increasingly disappointing, by the way, for the Mount Hood resorts. I mentioned fairly dry over in eastern Oregon. You see there, and this is Sun River actually in central Oregon. You see the cameras there at the resort showing some thin spots in the cloud cover. Our temperature is at 54, rain in the area. The heavier downpours later this afternoon and this evening. We get up to about 60 degrees. No watches, warnings, or advisories, just some good old-fashioned rain getting heavier as the day goes along. Back to you.
Typical Pacific Northwest. Okay, thanks, Brad. A family in Clackamas County has filed a wrongful death lawsuit against a deputy and Oregon State Police trooper. There are disturbing accusations in the lawsuit related to officers shooting and killing Derek Clark back in 2022. It alleges not only did deputies fail to give Clark any aid after he was shot, but that they also threw an explosive device near his body. Body cam audio caught officers laughing, likening Clark to a warm, dead deer. The suit also claims an officer released a dog that bit Clark shortly after. Both the state trooper and Clackamas County deputy were cleared of criminal charges in late 2022. But Clark's aunt believes the Department of Justice inaccurately presented the facts to the grand jury. Before he died, Clark was a teacher in training with the Insight Alliance, which supports incarcerated people. We reached out to the Clackamas County Sheriff's Office, but they have not commented.